Good day and good evening, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to today's education-based Indiana High School Athletic Association Varsity Boys Baseball game. This radio coverage is made possible through audiosportsonline.net. That's ASO. That's Rob Kendall. Rob Kendall from the Kendall and Casey Show. That's weekday mornings, 9 to noon on 93.1 FM, or you can go to WIBC.com. Today's game going to feature the Attica Red Ramblers as they make their way over to Lafayette Central Catholic High School. Beautiful day for baseball. Got the blue sky up there, got some cirrus clouds. I learned that from Brian Wilkes. And then I look up, I see the moon. The moon to the east. It's not about halfway up in the sky, but you can see about 3/4 of the moon up there right now. We'll mention the Knights have already had their infield, outfield practice. Right now, the Red Ramblers are taking theirs. And we'll talk a little bit about the Red Ramblers. Attica, currently they're 4 wins, 8 losses. They have 1 tie. They must have ran out of daylight. The Red Ramblers are in Class 1A, Sectional 53. There are 6 in their sectional. Their sectional will be played at Riverton Park High School. In their sectional, alphabetically, it's Attica, Covington, Faith Christian, Fountain Central, North Vermilion, Riverton Park. The principal at Attica High School is Barbie Balin-Cipher. It might be Barbie Balin-Cipher, but she is the principal at Attica High School. The athletic director is Dusty Goodwin. The athletic administrative assistant is Angie Powers. Attica High School is located at 211 East Jefferson Street, Attica, Indiana, 47918. By telephone, you can reach them at 765-762-7000. On the web, it's AtticaRedRamblers.com. They wear the collars red and white. They perform in the Wabash River Conference. There are 8 teams in the Wabash River. Alphabetically, they are the Attica Red Ramblers, Covington, Fountain Central, North Vermilion, Park Heritage, Riverton Park, Seeger, and South Vermilion. The head coach of the Attica Red Ramblers baseball team is Mr. Brian Driver. Got to meet him. He's doing infield, outfield practice right now. He's hitting to the infield. Gave me his lineup. That was quite nice of him. I kind of interrupted a coach's meeting. We'll mention this week for the Attica Red Ramblers, they're going to play again tomorrow. They'll play tomorrow. They'll play a home game versus Fountain Central. And then on Saturday the 10th, they'll have a doubleheader. It'll be an 11 o'clock game, and then they'll turn around, play a 1:30 game. They'll go against the Indiana School for the Deaf. Indiana School for the Deaf, they're currently 1 win, 3 losses, and 1 tie. And we'll mention a little bit about Class 1A, Sectional 53. That sectional, as mentioned, will be played at Riverton Park High School. And we'll mention in the first round, it's going to be Attica and Covington. Also in the first round, it'll be Riverton Park and Faith Christian. The winner of Riverton Park and Faith Christian, I should say this. There are 6 in there sectional, and I'm making it to the semifinals. It's going to be North Vermilion going against Fountain Central. And the winner of the 2 games on the first round will play the winner of North Vermilion and Fountain Central. And they'll go on from there. So that's the Attica Red Ramblers. We'll talk a little bit about the Lafayette Central Catholic Knights. Central Catholic Knights are currently 11 wins, 4 losses. They're 6-2. 6-2 in the Hoosier Conference. And we'll mention Central Catholic High School, founded 1956. Central Catholic going to play the 2A bracket this year. They'll be in Sectional 37. They will host Sectional 37 right here at Gordon Lemming Field. And in their sectional alphabetically is Benton Central, Delphi, Central Catholic, North Montgomery, Rensselaer Central, Seeger, Western Boone. The principal at Central Catholic High School is Darrell Beck. The athletic director is Tim Bourdonnais. The assistant athletic director is Charlie Roberts. And the trainer is Sarah Igo. Central Catholic High School is located at 2410 South 9th Street, Lafayette, Indiana, 47909. You can reach them by telephone by dialing 765-474-2496. On the web, it's lccathletics.com. They wear the collars navy blue and white. They perform in the Hoosier Conference. There are 9 teams total in the Hoosier Conference. They have 2 divisions. We'll mention the 9 teams alphabetically. Number 1, it's Benton Central. Following up them is Central Catholic, and then Hamilton Heights, and then Logansport, then Tipton, then Twin Lakes, then Rensselaer Central, then it's West Lafayette, and at number 9 is the Western Panthers. And we'll mention the head coach for Central Catholic Knights baseball is Mr. Tim Bourdonnais. A special item, I didn't know this till I got here, and athletic assistant AD Charlie Roberts let me know that Tim Bourdonnais last night recorded his 700th win. 700 wins as a baseball coach. He loves the game of baseball. It's purely evident. And I think I've been here since they gave me a 500. They gave me a T-shirt, had a number 500 on it. You'd have to ask what that meant, and that's a good idea. Matter of fact, Tipton Blue Devils basketball coach got a shirt this year. It said 600. He captured his 600th win there at Tipton High School. He retired. What a guy. 44 years coaching basketball. So that's Tipton Blue Devil basketball, but we're talking about Central Catholic Knights. Head coach Tim Bourdonnais, 700 wins captured last night. Last night was kind of a weird game. It was very weird. It went to the 7th inning, 8-7, and it finished up a bit different than that. Sounded like a football game score. So they're getting ready for this game here. They're dragging the field. They're getting rid of some footprints and some handprints, cleat prints. They're making it look brand new for this ball game. And I will mention the Knights sectional brackets right here. We'll mention in game one, it's going to be Lafayette Central Catholic and Rensselaer Central. Game two will be Delphi and North Montgomery. Game three will be Western Boone and Seeger. Those are all first-round games, and we'll mention Benton Central will advance. They'll play the winner of Lafayette Central Catholic and Rensselaer Central. So that'll be a good game. That's going to be in the semifinal. And then also in a semifinal, it's either going to be Delphi or North Montgomery going against Western Boone or Seeger. And that's the sectional, and then they'll have the final game. Obviously, we don't know who. But baseball here today on Wednesday baseball. The Knights are full packed with games this week. They have 6. And this is going to be the third game this week for the Knights. This is kind of a makeup game in advance. The Knights were supposed to play Attica next Wednesday on the 14th. And Attica AD probably called Tim Bourdonnais, the AD for Central Catholic, and asked if they could switch the game to another date because Attica needs next Wednesday to play a rainout game versus someone in their conference. And that's obviously more important. So they bumped it up to today. So they're playing it a week early. And as you know, Attica going to play again tomorrow. They'll have Fountain Central at home. And then on Saturday, they'll play a doubleheader with the Indiana School for the Deaf. And that'll be fun. And really fun. And I tell you what, that is a blessing. So the umpires are on hand. They're standing nearby. They're both going to wear the dark blue. They're going with just a regular shirts, no sleeves. Pretty nice day. I went through Frankfurt about 10 after 3. I saw one digital clock board there actually probably for a bank, and it said 3:10 p.m. and it said 75 degrees. I went on up a few blocks, saw another bank sign, digital sign. It said 3:14 p.m. and it said 73 degrees. So you tell me which one's more accurate. But they said it might get above 75 degrees today, and it might get a couple of degrees above. Tell you what, Indiana weather is so weird. They're talking about some rain, but if rain happens, it might happen tomorrow, but it's going to be very little. I listened to Fox 59 in the morning. He said it might be a quarter of an inch, half an inch at the most. That's Jim O'Brien. If you remember Jim O'Brien, Pacers had a coach named Jim O'Brien. A lot of people teased Jim O'Brien on the Fox 59 about being that coach, and obviously he wasn't. But we'll talk about the Pacers while we got a moment. I found this out today. I remember this particular game. I was watching it, but 30 years ago today, Reggie Miller, 8 points in 9 seconds. And the Pacers went on to win Game 7 against the Knicks. You remember that? That was when Spike Lee was giving Reggie Miller all the business. Reggie Miller made one gesture I wish he'd have never made because they show that once in a while on TV. He probably regrets it too. But Reggie Miller has to be, without question, the best Indiana Pacer that the Pacers have ever had. And I look back and I think of George McGinnis, but Reggie Miller, I mean, anybody that would come from UCLA in beautiful California, show up in Indiana because they drafted him, and stay for 18 years in this colder climate is amazing. They're going to present a plaque to Coach Bourdonnais. We'll see if we can hear. Yep, they're going to recognize a historical achievement. Ryan Gerke is announcing to the crowd. Coach Bourdonnais, 700 wins. I tell you what, they just fly by. You know, he works hard at this game. I mean, I think Charlie Roberts probably picks up a little flack during the spring for Coach Bourdonnais to handle baseball. But I've been helping with Central Catholic for I don't know probably 10 years now, and I've never seen or talked to a better coach in the name of baseball in my whole life. My dad's a good one. My dad taught me a lot. But Coach Bourdonnais, wow. He's got a couple of daughters. He's got a son. I think he's probably 21, 22 now. He wears 21. He coaches first base. It's A.J. Bourdonnais. And then he's got a daughter, Caroline. I think she goes by Carolyn. She was a good tennis player here at Central Catholic. She's pretty tall. She's pretty tall for a gal, and she might be taller than A.J. Bourdonnais. Out comes the family. Shannon Bourdonnais, she's the wife of Tim. Here come Terry and Liz Bourdonnais. They are the dad and the mom, and they're still walking out, but they're going to get in a photograph right here, special photograph. I think Shannon Bourdonnais probably a little taller than Tim. Tim played second base at Purdue. I'm sure he was a good one. He played shortstop for Central Catholic. Terry Bourdonnais, his dad, let me know that Tim's senior year, Tim hit 10, count them, 10 triples. That is absolutely unheard of. The closest to him in the record book is 4. And if I'm not mistaken, A.J. Bourdonnais got 4. I think about 2 or 3 guys tied with 4. But I guess Tim Bourdonnais must have been able to fly. So he coaches third base now for the Knights. And he puts them in a good position to win every game. So they're going to have an umpire meeting right there at home plate. It's going to be Coach Brian Driver and Coach Tim Bourdonnais. Couple of referees there. We'll call them refs. They're officials. They are umpires. And they're going to go through a plate meeting right now, and they'll talk it over. And while we have a minute, we'll go ahead and mention the lineup. We'll mention the batting lineup for the Attica Red Ramblers. Red Ramblers are going to bat like this. Batting first, number 8, Luke Blankenship. He'll play right field. Batting second, number 10, Dane Goris. He'll do the catching. Batting third, number 27, Carson Lovell Ramey. He'll play third base. Batting fourth, number 24, Jace Larson. He'll be the shortstop. Batting fifth, number 3, Tristan Miller. He'll play second base. Batting sixth will be number 22. That'll be the DH. It'll be Braden Terry. Braden Terry will bat for Abe Ramack. I got to get this right. Give me a break here. I'm going to go talk to Ryan Gerke, see how he's going to say this name. Okay. Ryan says it's going to be Abe Ramaklus. Ramaklus, that's Remaklus. Ramaklus will be playing first base. He'll wear number 9. He'll play defensively for the DH. Number 22, Braden Terry. And batting seventh will be number 5, Carter Vredenberg. Carter Vredenberg, that's Vredenburg. Vredenberg. He'll do the pitching. Batting 8th, wearing number 2 for Attica, Kyler Stamper. Kyler Stamper will play center field. Batting 9th, number 34, Tanner Childress. Tanner Childress will be the left fielder. So that's how they'll line up the batting order. We'll talk about them geographically when they take the field for the bottom of the first inning. The Knights are going to play defensively here in the first. And while we have a moment, we'll mention this game is in parts being brought to you by McCormick Printing Impressions. Before we dive into action, we'll mention we want to spotlight a business that's been printing success in our community for 50 incredible years. That's McCormick Printing Impressions. From business cards to banners, T-shirts to office supplies, MPI is your local full-service print shop, delivering quality, great service, and creativity in every project. Family owned and operated for 2 generations. MPI knows that your first impression matters, so they help you make a good one. Next time you need something printed with perfection, turn to MPI because at McCormick Printing Impressions, they don't just print, they help you make your best impression. That's McCormick Printing. They're in Tipton. They didn't write that for me to say. They wrote that particular advertisement. But if they are in Tipton, you can reach them by phone at 765-675-9556. So give them a call. They are really good, and they'll treat you correctly, and you'll enjoy allowing them to help you. So getting ready for the opening prayer and national anthem. We'll set this down. That's our national anthem, and sounded good. Sounded Jim Neighbors-esque. So we'll mention, getting ready to start baseball, Attica. Red Ramblers, they're going to wear the red jerseys and the gray pants. They're going to bat first. The Knights are going to go with the white uniforms, blue pinstripes, and the blue sleeves out the vest on the jersey. So they're getting ready to warm up right now. Shaking hands at home plate. Ethan Miller and the home plate umpire. And doing the actual pitching today for the Knights, it's going to be a lefty. It's going to be Charlie Bapst. Charlie Bapst going to take the ball, and he's going to pitch here for the Knights. And we'll mention a little bit about Charlie. We'll let you know Charlie Bapst on the season. He's pitched 2 innings. And we'll mention this is appearance number 2. He's faced 11 batters. He's thrown 36 pitches. He's got a win-loss ratio. He has no wins, no losses. He's given up 3 hits. He's given up 3 runs. None of those runs were earned. He has not walked a batter. He has struck out 1, and that batter went down swinging. So he's getting some warm-up tosses. The Knights around the diamond are like this. Doing the catching today, where's number 29, Ethan Miller. At first base, number 10, Lucas Gerke. At second base, number 12, Alex Schumer. At shortstop, number 11, Mikey Stapleton. At third base, number 9, Hudson Gutwine. In left field for the Knights, number 41, Brennan Van Kirk. In center field for the Knights, number 5, Colton Minnick. And in right field, number 33, DJ Gilkey. Jackson Kane will be the DH, and he will bat in place of the pitcher, number 23, Charlie Babst. So Charlie Babst going to focus on the pitcher's mound. Going to throw one down second base. Ethan Miller, frozen rope, right in the running lane, right there where the slide would happen. So the Knights going to put the ball in the glove of Charlie Babst. Charlie Babst going to pitch there. He's getting extra encouragement right there on the pitcher's rubber. They're all tapping gloves. And stepping in, we're going to see a left-handed batter for Attica. He wears number 8. That's Luke Blankenship. Luke Blankenship is the right fielder. Getting ready to step in. Left-handed batter, a little bit close stance on the instep. First pitch by Charlie Babst. Swung on, he'll pop it up on the infield. It's going to be called for by the second baseman, Alex Schumer. He'll make the catch. First pitch, 6:17 p.m. So next batter going to step in. He's the 2-hitter, number 10, Dane Goris. Dane Goris is the catcher for the Red Ramblers. A little bit of an open stance, not much. Right-handed batter. Here comes the pitch from Charlie Babst. Outside edge, just called strike. Strike call, the outside edge. I was curious there if he was going to call that a ball. Had to kind of hesitate. Here comes the second pitch from Babst. Strike 2. He's got a delayed signal. He's probably saying strike closer to the guy batting, closer to Ethan Miller, but I'm going to have to just be patient. Pitch comes in, ground ball. Short to third base. Fielded by Gutwine. He'll throw across the diamond, and they'll get the put out with Lucas Gerke. There are 2 out here in the top of the first. So next batter, we're going to see another left-handed batter. He's the 3-hitter, number 27, Carson Lovell Ramey. He is the third baseman. I take that back. He's going to bat right-handed. He was just over there picking up the bat for Goris. So looking for signals. He'll step in now. Right-handed batter, open stance. Give him a good look at the pitch. He'll close on the pitch, on the approach. Pitch comes in high. I'm going to call it a strike. Incredible. So I'm going to have to get an earpiece here where I can hear. And I guess they're going to call timeout. And maybe Ethan Miller's earpiece having difficulty, might have fallen out again. If you didn't know, Coach Bourdonnais, or any coach for that matter, can talk to the catcher and call pitches from the dugout, but the catcher cannot talk to the coach. It's just one-way communication. IHSAA adopted that maybe a year ago, and it makes it easier to call the pitches. Some coaches elect not to use that method. Pitch comes in, breaking pitch, high above the zone, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from Babst. Swung on, he'll foul it back, pretty close to me. Gonna go straight back, a foul ball. Count goes 1-2. I have probably the best vantage point in the whole baseball facility. I'm on top of the press box. Got to be alert, actually. Breaking pitch, back door, misses just above the zone. Charlie throwing a good breaking ball. When he gets that dialed in, he'll be set. Here comes the wind to end the pitch. Swung on, he's going to go to left field. It's going to be a foul ball. He got a lot of it. It's going to bounce around, go into the absolute corner of the diamond. And a pretty solid stroke for Lovell Ramey. So 27, Carson Lovell Ramey Third baseman. That's a pretty good stroke there. He's the three hitter. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Peering in. Out of the windup, Charlie Babst. Swung on. He'll take it to left field. He's going to back up. Brendan Van Kirk is going to get over his head. It'll bounce one time up against the wall. He'll pick it up and going into second base, standing up. Carson Lovell-Ramey has a 2-base hit. So Carson Lovell-Ramey, 27. He picks up double number 3 on the season. I went to Max Preps. He's pitching from the windup. He's got to step off. He did. Stepped off with the opposite start foot. Now back in the rubber. Charlie Babst, here comes the pitch. Low and outside. In the batter's box, the 4-hitter, number 24, Jace Larson. He is the shortstop. So I did. I went to Max Preps and got some stats this morning, wrote them down. Pitch comes in high above the zone, ball 2. Got some stats, wrote those down, and hopefully they're accurate. And if you didn't know, Max Preps is ran by CBS Sports. It is a division of CBS Sports. That's a lot of effort. So what you look around, you'll find stats, you'll find rosters. I write those down. It makes me familiar with each team. This week got 6 teams. Here comes the pitch from Babs. Strike called. Count goes 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's first strike. He fouled it back out of play. 2-2 count. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, swing and a miss. And the Knights get out of the inning. And Charlie Babs records his second strikeout on the season. So the Knights give up no runs. They do give up a hit, a double to left field off the bat of Carson Lovell-Ramey. And the Knights are going to bat here in the bottom of the first inning. No score after 1/2 inning. We'll also mention this game is in part being brought to you by Fritz and Fishers. Fritz and Fishers and Fritz in Noblesville. They are celebrating 43 years. 43 years in business. That's in the heart of the Nickel Plate District right there in Fishers, Indiana. If you've not been to Fishers lately, or Noblesville, or Westfield, you can barely tell those towns apart, but they're not towns anymore. They are full-fledged cities. We'll mention Fritz in Fishers, Fritz in Noblesville. They have late model cars and trucks. Each vehicle pre-delivery inspection. They have 2 Hamilton County locations. One is in Fishers at 8599 East 116th Street, 317-842-2228. Their second is on State Road 32. That's Noblesville, 317-773-2232. And around the diamond for Attica, doing the pitching, it's Carter Vredenberg, who wears number 5. Wearing number 10, the catcher, Dane Goris. Number 9, Abe Ramaklus. There we go. We'll try it again. Ramaklus at first base. Second baseman, number 3, Tristan Miller. Shortstop, wears number 24. That's Jace Larson. At third base, 27, Carson Lovell-Ramey. In left field, 34, Tanner Childress. In center field, number 2, Kyler Stamper. And in right field, number 8, Luke Blankenship. Pitching from the windup, first pitch from Vredenberg. Right down meridian, strike called, a fastball. No balls, 1 strike in the batter's box for the Knights. Number 9, Hudson Gutwein, right-handed batter. Here comes a pitch from Vredenberg. Breaking pitch. He'll go with it. He'll hit it right side off the glove of the second baseman, Tristan Miller. Couldn't grasp it. And I don't know what they'll call that. We'll look here. They're going to call it a hit. So a hit off the bat. Second pitch for Hudson Gutwein. Knights have 1 aboard. Next batter going to step in. 2-hitter, number 12, Alex Schumer. Alex Schumer playing second base. Last night, Coach Bourdonnais put Gutwein at third base, trying out a different routine there. He's doing it again tonight. Out of set, Carter Vredenberg. First pitch to Schumer. Strike called. So no balls, 1 strike. Bottom of the first inning. Looking at first base out of the stretch is Redenberg. Now out of the set, he'll check again. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch finishes. Strike called. Might have been top of the zone. Breaking pitch. Count goes 0-2 to Schumer. Schumer going to have to unleash the bat here with an 0-2 count. Modest lead at first base for Gutwein. Pickoff move, first base back safely, standing up. No tag applied by Abe Ramaklos. Ramaklos, there we go. I knew that was going to give me trouble. So it's Ramaklos. All short vowel sounds. Out of the set. Here's a pitch. Take it off for second base. Gutwein. He's going to get a stolen base. Gutwein picks up stolen base number 11 on the season. Gutwein, before that stolen base, was tied with number 11. And that's Mikey Stapleton. So Mikey's got 10 now. Here's the pitch. Backdoor curveball misses outside. Count goes 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Alex Schumer. Peering in, looking at signals out of the stretch. Carter Vredenberg. Long pier. Still in the stretch. Now the set. He'll check second base. Here comes the 2-2. Swung on. He'll foul it back. Out of play. He'll stay in the box with that 2-2 count. So ball made live. 2-2 count. Nobody out. Gutwein singled to get to first. He stole second. He's there now. One base runner for the Knights. Pitch comes in outside and tall. Ball 3. Vredenberg, we'll mention on the season. We'll talk about his stats. He wears number 5. Vredenberg, this is appearance number 3. This is he's pitched 1 inning, a foul ball at home plate off the body. So he'll stay in the box with a 3-2 count. That's Alex Schumer. Vredenberg, we'll mention. He's got 1 inning on the season. He's given up 2 hits. He's given up 5 runs. 1 of those runs were earned. He has walked 3, and he has struck out 2. And he's faced 11 batters entering this game. Pitch goes behind the back of Schumer. He'll jog down to first base with the base on balls. And the ball goes back to the screen. Jogging over to third base is Gutwein. So the Knights have 2 aboard, first and third base. Next batter to step in is going to be the 3-hitter, number 10, Lucas Gerke. Gerke plays first base. Left-handed batter. Peering in, looking at signals, out of the stretch. Carter Vredenberg. Now out of the set, he'll check third base. Pickoff move at first base. Pretty good move there. It wasn't a 31. It was a look at third and then a snap throw to first without a fake to third. And that 31, as you know, it's only allowed in high school baseball. They took it out of everything else. I think they even took it out of MLB. Backdoor curveball, squaring the bunt, pulled the bat back, and the ball goes back to the screen. First run of the ball game scored by Hudson Gutwein. Jogging to second base on the misplayed baseball is Alex Schumer. So 1 run in, 1 ball, no strikes to Lucas Gerke, left-handed batter. Peering in, looking at signals out of the stretch. Carter Vredenberg. Check second. Here's the pitch. Swung on, ground ball, second base. Tristan Miller gloves it, throws next door to Abe Ramaklos, and the out is recorded. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. So Alex Schumer jogs over to third base on the play at first. And Vredenberg's going to ask for a different baseball. Might have had some dirt in the seams. Sometimes that can happen. That can mess up a curveball. So stepping in for the Knights, 4-hitter, number 11, Mikey Stapleton. Plays shortstop for Central Catholic. Peering in, looking at signals, out of stretch. Carter Vredenberg out of the set. He'll check third. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch. Good placement right across the dish. Strike called. Count goes 0-1 to Stapleton. Jackson Kane is on deck for the Knights. Alvastad, here's the pitch, breaking pitch. Going to go behind the back of Stapleton, back to the screen. Coming in to score from third base is number 12, Alex Schumer. So the bases are empty. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Right-handed batter, number 11, Mikey Stapleton. He'll step back in. He'll stay pitching from the stretch. That's number 5, Carter Vredenberg. Now he's going to go back to the windup. He steps out, windup. Here's the pitch. Above the zone, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Straightaway stance, Mikey Stapleton. 4-hitter for the Knights. Been the 4-hitter basically all season. I think Jackson was a couple of games. Pitch comes in low, gets by the glove of Dane Goris. Count goes 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. Steps back in. Number 11, Mikey Stapleton. Here comes the wind and the 3-1 pitch. Swung on to take a shot over shortstop's head. It'll go to the grass, picked up by the left fielder, Tanner Childress. And Mikey Stapleton gets aboard with a base hit. So Mikey Stapleton on the season picks up hit 21. He now has 17 base hits and 4 doubles. Next batter to step in for the Knights is going to be number 3, 5-hitter. That's Jackson Kane. Right-handed batter. Runner at first base is Mikey Stapleton. 1 out. We're in the top of the first inning. Knights have 2 runs in. Out of set, Vredenberg. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch above the zone, ball 1. Good breaking pitch. Vredenberg throwing a breaking pitch for a strike. If he can find that, dial that in. Right about the knee level, thigh high. Pickoff move at first base, back safely. Back safely is Stapleton. No tag applied by Abe Ramaklis. Here comes the pitch. Ball goes right side, out of play. Jackson Kane. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kane steps back in. Ball's made live. Working from the stretch, Carter Vredenberg. Pickoff move again. No tag applied by Ramaklis. Back standing up is Stapleton. 1-1 count. 1 out. Bottom of the first inning. Alvastad, here's the pitch. Taking off for second base is Stapleton. Stapleton going to slide in safe. And Stapleton now has 11 stolen bases on the season, along with Hudson Gutwein, also with 11. Neither player has been thrown out at second base. Peering in, looking at signals. Alvastad, Vredenberg, pitch comes in high above the zone, ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. Kane steps back in, taps the plate. Out of the stretch, Vredenberg checks second base. Now out of the set. Here comes the pickoff move at second, no throw. Nobody there to take the throw. Second baseman, Tristan Miller, was on his way. Vredenberg elected not to throw the baseball. Out of the set, here's the pitch, breaking pitch. Inside, they're calling a strike. They call that a strike. It was a horseshoe. Horseshoe pitch. It was close to inside. I call that a horseshoe. Kind of went around the plate, ended up in the catcher's glove. Here comes a 3-2. Breaking pitch inside, ball 4. So Knights have runners at first and second base. Next batter to step in for the Knights. Going to be the 6-hitter, number 33, DJ Gilkey. Left-handed batter. He plays right field in today's ball game. Open stance, DJ Gilkey, a senior class member. Working out a stretch, looking at signals from Dane Goris. Now out of the set, here comes the pitch. Outside of ball. Goris thought about a snap throw to second base. Mikey Stapleton getting off there with a little bit extra secondary lead. Left-handed batter, DJ Gilkey. Out of the set. Right there is Carter Redenberg. Here's the pitch. Inside and tall. Ball two. 2 balls, no strikes. Jackson Kane is at first base. Mikey Stapleton is at second base. Peering in, looking at signals. Vredenberg, long pier. Out of set. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Hit by pitch. Gilkey got hit by pitch. He didn't like it. He doesn't have a whole lot of body meat on that body. He's slim. He accepts the hit by pitch and jogs to first base. So the Knights have bases loaded. And that's number 33, DJ Gilkey. That's the first time he's been hit by pitch this season. So next batter is going to be number 41, Brennan Van Kirk. Dane Goris jogs out, talks with Carter Redenberg. Now Goris going to get back behind home plate. On deck for the Knights is number 5, Colton Minnick. He bats in the 8th spot. So 7-hitter, number 41, Brennan Van Kirk. Right-handed batter, playing left field today. Pitch comes in high above the zone, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Still 1 out. And timeout on the diamond coach. Pitching coach going to jog out. Going to talk to Vredenberg and the whole infield right there at the pitcher's mound. And we'll mention this game is in part being brought to you by Scott Gashaw. Scott Gashaw, he's a Tipton native. He played football and wrestled for the Tipton Blue Devils. That was back in the day. And he says, when time is good, when you share, you should. Share and share alike. Support Indiana Middle School and High School athletics. That's Scott Gashaw. So they're back to normal position. Stepping in again is 41, Brennan Van Kirk. Vredenberg, ball's made live. Out of stretch, now the set position. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. They're called a strike, inside edge. Sometimes you got to be an umpire to call a strike. You keep the game moving, keep it active. You don't want the game to become stale. Here comes a pitch. Outside of ball, count goes 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. 1 out. Knights batting in the bottom of the first. 2 runs in. Bases are loaded for the Knights. Working out a stretch, now the set. Carter Redenberg, here's the pitch. Breaking pitch low and inside, ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. Carter Redenberg, right-handed batter. Brennan Van Kirk. Out of stretch, now the set, here's the pitch. And call it a strike. Inside edge. Trying to keep the game moving. Bases are loaded. You don't want to score a run kind of involuntarily. So it's a 3-2 count. Brennan Van Kirk calls time. He steps out of the box. Time to granted. He'll step back in. Home plate umpire going to make the ball live. Bases loaded, 3-2 count, 1 out. Out of set, Vredenberg. Here's the pitch. Going to be a hit by pitch. So Brennan Van Kirk tosses the bat aside, and he accepts a hit by pitch on ball 4. That makes it a little different. So he's at first base now. And Van Kirk picks up hit by pitch number 4 on the season. So stepping into bat, number 5. And the 8-hitter, Colton Minnick. Colton Minnick playing center field again this evening. He did last night at Caston. Out set, Vredenberg. Here's the pitch. High and inside, ball 1. So Dane Goris thought about a snap throw to third base. Jackson Kane had to get back in a hurry. There was no throw. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 out. Peering in, looking at signals, out of stretch. Carter Vredenberg, here's the pitch. Going to be a ground ball. Shortstop, going to be fielded there by Jace Larson. He'll throw to first base. He'll get the out. So he'll get the out at first base. That's going to be the second out in the inning. But Colton Minnick going to get an RBI coming in to score from third base. is Jackson Kane. So with 2 outs, I think I missed a run there somewhere. But anyway, the Knights have 4 runs in here in the first inning. So runners at second and third, I guess that was the hit by pitch by Van Kirk, forced a run in with bases loaded. That's what it was. And I'm probably coming in to score right there was Mikey Stapleton. Here comes the pitch. Strike called, outside edge. Count goes 0-2 to Ethan Miller. Ethan Miller batting in today's ball game, playing the catcher's position. He's batting in the 9th spot. Peering in, looking at signals out of the stretch. Vredenberg. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Ethan Miller. High and above the zone, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the first inning. Central Catholic and Attica. About 25 miles, maybe 20, 25 miles separate these 2 schools. Alice said, here's the pitch. Going to be a balk. They're going to say he didn't pause. They're going to say he had no discernible pause on that pitch with a base runner. Base umpire is going to let him know what he saw. Coming in to score from third base is DJ Gilkey. Moving over to third base is 41, Brennan Van Kirk. Knights have 5 runs in here in the bottom of the first. Here comes a 1-2 pitch, and it's going to be popped up, playable around home plate. And it's going to be caught as a foul ball by the catcher, Dane Goris, for out number 3. So the Knights are out of the inning. Knights leave 1 on base. Knights come up with 2 hits in the bottom of the first. And at the end of 1 complete, Knights 5, Red Ramblers 0. And we'll also mention today's ball game is in part being brought to you by AGM. AGM Auto, LLC. At AGM, you'll not only be treated with pure professionalism, you'll appreciate their state-of-the-art diagnostics and their up-to-date status of each of the AGM technicians. And AGM doesn't only work under the hood. AGM works toward the recovery and the restoration of your antique automobile. Now beautiful cars, and they are showroom treasures, mechanically and cosmetically. AGM Auto, you can reach them at 317-984-5283. Again, that's 317-984-5283. AGM Auto, you can find them on Facebook at AGM Auto LLC. So the Knights getting some warm-up tosses, we'll mention. Knights getting ready to play defensively. Attica going to send to the plate. First batter will be number 5. Excuse me, 5th hitter will be number 3, Tristan Miller. Tristan Miller, second baseman for the Attica Red Ramblers. And back behind the dish is Ethan Miller, taking some warm-up tosses while Ethan was putting on his gear. It was Renback. That was Cooper Renback. Renback got in the game last night, got to bat. And they're going to put the ball in the glove. The pitcher's rubber, Charlie Bapst. So we're going to see the 5-hitter, second baseman, Tristan Miller. Tristan Miller wears number 3 for the Red Ramblers. Steps in, he's a right-handed batter. Facing the lefty, Charlie Bapst. Working out a windup. First pitch to Miller. Strike called, outside edge. Umpires make that plate about 22 inches. They'll give you a strike, a ball each side of the plate, sometimes more. Here comes the pitch. It's by the glove. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. On deck for Attica is number 22, Braden Terry, the DH. Next pitch comes in, outside edge. It's a called strike. 1-2 count. It's pretty rough when you got to get to the plate and find out all that work you've been putting in is for a ball off the plate. Outside, ball two. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the wind in the 2-2 pitch from Baps. Swing and a miss. So go down swinging. There's 1 out here in the top of the second inning. Next batter to step in for Attica. It's going to be the 6-hitter, number 22, Braden Terry. Braden Terry is the DH, as mentioned. He's batting in place of defensive player, Abe Ramaklis. Ramaklis wears number 9. He plays first base. First pitch, swing and a miss. No balls, 1 strike. Right-handed batter, Braden Terry. Here comes a pitch from Baps. Swung on, ground ball, third base. Gutwein gloves it. They'll throw to first base, and they'll get the put out with Lucas Gerke. And there are 2 out here in the top of the second inning. So next batter going to step in. They're pronouncing his name Vredenberg. I've been saying Vredenberg. So Carter Vredenberg is the pitcher. Steps in, right-handed batter. Here's the pitch. Above the zone, ball 1. Carter Vredenberg, the pitcher, wears number 5. He's batting in the 7th spot for Coach Driver. Pitch comes in, outside edge. Strike called. Count goes 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 out. Here comes a pitch from Baps. Swung on and take one to right field. Going to be pretty much right at DJ Gilkey. And Gilkey makes the catch, and there are 3 out here in the top of the second inning. So Attica Red Ramblers leave nobody on base, no hits, and the Knights commit no errors at the end of 1.5. Knights 5, Red Ramblers 0. And we'll also mention this game is in parts being brought to you by Noblesville Trophies. Noblesville Trophies, you can shop them online at noblesvilletrophies.com or stop in if only to browse around. They're located at 1740 South 10th Street, Noblesville, Indiana. They have trophies, awards, plaques, and more. Fast turnaround. Prices are low. They're so low you may want to be a repeat customer. That's Noblesville Trophy, 1740 South 10th Street, Noblesville, Indiana, 46060. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can dial them by telephone at 317-773-7391. Again, their number is 317-773-7391. Again, online, it's noblesvilletrophies.com. So the Attica Red Ramblers are going to go with a different pitcher here in the bottom of the second inning. He wears number 10. He moves to the pitcher position from the catcher's position. And that's number 10, Dane Goris. Dane Goris going to do the pitching here. We'll mention Dane Goris. This is appearance number 2 on the season. He's thrown 2 innings thus far this season. He's given up 2 hits. He's given up 4 runs. 3 of those runs were earned. And he has faced 12 batters so far this season. So Hudson Gutwein will be his 13th batter of the season. So Gutwein steps in. Gutwein bats first for the Knights. He's played in 16 of the 17 games. First pitch from Goris. Low for ball 1. So Dane Goris doing the pitching for Attica, the Red Ramblers. 1 ball, no strikes to Hudson Gutwein. Working from the windup. 1 foot on, 1 foot off. Right-handed pitcher, Dane Goris. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, he'll drive one foul down the left field line. It'll end up in the corner, and they'll track that one down from the dugout. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Hudson Gutwein, he's batting .396 in that right-handed batter's box. .592 on base percentage. 71 plate appearances, 48 at-bats. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Hit by pitch. Hudson Gutwine got hit in the side of should say the thigh right there on the left leg. Probably going to put a bruise on him. He's going to jog down to first base. He'll be at first. Coach Borden ain't going to leave him there. But Hudson Gutwine gets hit by pitch number 8 on the season. Only one other player has been hit by pitch 8 times, and that's Lucas Gerke. He's on deck. Stepping into bat, left-handed batter, Alex Schumer. Nobody out, runner aboard. Second batter here in the bottom of the second. Out of the set, Dane Goris. Pitch comes in, breaking pitch high for ball 1. So now doing the catching is Carson Level Ramey. So Carson Level Ramey moves to the catcher's position. Peering in, looking at signals out of the stretch is Goris. Out of set, here's the pitch. Taking off for second base is Gutwine. And Gutwine going to pick up his second stolen base in this ball game. He now has 12 on the season. So 2 balls, no strikes. Stepping back in, left-handed batter, Alex Schumer. Peering in, looking at signals out of stretch. Dane Goris, a long peer, now out of the set position, checks second base. Here comes the 2-0 pitch to Schumer. Going to call that a strike. Outside edge, might have been a bit tall. 2 balls, 1 strike. Trying to keep the game acclimated. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of stretch. Dane Goris, his catcher, Carson Level Ramey. He'll step back off the back and they'll reset. And he'll look for signals again. Left-handed batter, Alex Schumer. Peering in, looking at signals. Dane Goris. Goris wears number 10, and he's now doing the pitching for Attica. Out of set, check second base a couple of times. Here's the pitch. Outside of ball. Count goes 3-1. Alex Schumer, he's a patient hitter, looking for a pitch that's swingable. Count goes 3-1. Nobody out. Runner at second base for the Knights is Hudson Gutwine. Out of the set, Ramey, here's the pitch. Ramey comes out of crouched. Catch that one above the zone. Ball 4. So runners at first and second base for the Knights. Alex Schumer at first base. Hudson Gutwine at second. Stepping into bat, nobody out. The 3-hitter, Lucas Gerke. Left-handed batter. Out of set, Goris. Here comes the pitch. Short hop the glove there. Good block by Level Ramey. Saves a trip to each base by the base runners. So 1 ball, no strikes. Peering in, looking at signals. Now out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. High and tight, ball 2. Timeout on the diamond. Pitching coach going to jog out. I'm going to talk with Carson Level Ramey, the catcher, and Dane Goris, the pitcher. And he takes a ball out there, and he's going to give that ball to the umpire. He puts it in the pocket right there. The catcher, Ramey, they're talking it over right there on the pitcher's rubber. On deck for the Knights is number 11, Mikey Stapleton. Knights have 2 aboard. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. There's no track meet tonight. I look out there beyond the tennis courts. I see a softball game happening. The wind is not bad at all. The flags are kind of just floating straight down. They're not moving much. But yesterday, the wind was a totally different story. Stepping in. Number 3 hitter, number 10, Lucas Gerke. Peering in, looking at signals out of the stretch. Dane Goris. Out of the set, he'll check second base. Here comes the 2-0. High and tight. Lucas Gerke nearly got hit with number 9. Count goes 3-0. 3 balls, no strikes. Runners at first and second base for the Knights. Peering in, looking at signals. Dane Goris. Albacete, he'll check second base. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. Low for ball 4. And jogging down the first base is number 10, Lucas Gerke. He picks up walk number 13 on the season. So Lucas Gerke steps off the first base, goes back in the dugout. He's going to give way to pinch runner number 25, Vince Talenko. Pitching coach jogs out. He's going to pull in the left fielder. He's going to ask for the baseball. Dane Goris going to allow him the ball. Coming in from left field is Tanner Childress. Tanner Childress, left fielder. Where's number 34? He's going to be given the baseball. He's got a sliding mitt in that back right pocket. I think the infield umpire is going to notice that and ask him to remove it. He will in a moment if he hasn't already. Yeah, he's still got it in there, red flag of something. So he's going to get warmed up right there. 34, Childress. So he comes in from left field. And he's got that red item sticking out that back pocket with those gray pants. That's a little bit deceptive for a pitcher, for a batter to look at while he's staring at a baseball. So let's see if they ask him to remove it. I'm not sure they're going to. I know the infield umpire is there to brief him on the situation before he begins to pitch. So number 34, Tanner Childress. Childress on the season. This is appearance number 4. He's pitched 2 1/3 innings. He's given up 3 hits, 3 runs, and 1 earned run. He's walked 5 and he struck out 3. He has faced 15 batters along the way. So we're getting some final warm-up tosses there. Working from the stretch now. And they're going to ask the runners to take their respective positions. So bases are going to be loaded. The batter's going to be Mikey Stapleton. The Knights started this inning at the top of the order. We're in the bottom of the second inning. Knights have not scored in this inning. And the base umpire going to brief the pitcher on the situation. He said, you got 3 runners on base, you got nobody out, and you got a brand new batter with no count stepping in. So right-handed pitcher, Tanner Childress, doing the pitching. Peering in, looking at signals, out of stretch. Out of set, here comes the pitch. Outside and low, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. I think he tucked that red item on in the pocket. Peering in, looking at signals. Tanner Childress. Out of set, he'll check second base. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 2. So Mikey Stapleton batting, 4-hitter for the Knights here in the bottom of the second inning. Mikey Stapleton, 17 games, batting .377. On base percentage of .464. Out of set, Childress, here's the pitch. Swung on, ground ball, third base. He'll step on third. He'll get the out there, throw across the diamond. And they're going to call him safe at first base. A nice play there by third baseman. That's number 5, Carter Vredenberg. He was the original pitcher, started this game. He's got a cannon. Stepped on third, couldn't get the out at first base. There's 1 out. And coming in to score is Schumer. Alex Schumer came in to score. 7 o'clock, straight up on the AT&T wristwatch. AT&T bringing this game to you by telephone. Amazing. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch, across the dish, strike called. So next the batter in the box right there, right-handed batter, number 3, Jackson Kane. Runners at first and second base. 1 out. Bottom of the second inning. Out of set, Childress, here's the pitch. Breaking pitch, high and tight for a ball. Count goes 1-1. Jackson Kane, he's played all 17 games, batting .377. That right-handed batter's box. His on-base percentage is .492, almost half the time. Out of set, here comes the pitch. Swung on, ground ball, base hit. Goes through the hole there at third base and shortstop, goes into left field. Picked up by the left fielder. And I believe that's Jace Larson now in left field. So thrown in. And that next batter will step in. It's going to be DJ Gilkey. Bases are now loaded. One out. Step in the rubber right there. Peer in, look at signals. Number 34, Tanner Childress. Right-handed batter, DJ Gilkey. Left-handed batter, DJ Gilkey. Pitch comes in, strike called. Breaking pitch for a strike. Count goes 0-1 to Gilkey. Gilkey, and he's played in 16 of the 17 games, batting .295, .426 on base percentage. Out of set, here's the pitch. Outside a ball. Count goes 1-1. Gilkey has 55 plate appearances, 44 at-bats. That's entering today's game. He's got 13 hits, 9 singles, 4 doubles. He's got 11 RBI. Knights have bases loaded. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. High and tight, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. 1 out, bottom of the second inning. Knights have 1 run in. Peering in, looking at signals, out of stretch. Tanner Childress. Here comes the pitch. Outside a ball. Good glove there by 27, Carson Lovell-Ramey. Count goes 3-1 to Gilkey. 3 balls, 1 strike. Peering in, looking at signals, out of stretch. Tanner Childress. Now the set position. Here's the pitch. Pitch comes in, strike called. Going to call the outside edge. Bases loaded, 3-1 count. Pitch was close, calls it a strike. Count goes 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Peering in, looking at signals. Tanner Childress wants a new signal. Shakes the hand. The ball in it outside the stretch, and here comes the pitch. Inside, ball 4. So Gilkey jogs to first base. Coming in to score from third base for the Knights is number 25, Vince Talenko. So the Knights are going to step in with Brennan Van Kirk. Van Kirk, the left fielder for the Knights. Base is still loaded. 1 out, bottom of the second inning. Knights have 2 runs in here in the second. Peering in, looking at signals, out of stretch. Childress now out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Outside and low. Good backhand block there by Carson Lovell-Ramey, the catcher. Let's look at that. Carson Lovell-Ramey started this game at third base. He came to the catcher's position on their first relief. Here comes the pitch. Low. Good block again by Ramey. Count goes 2-0 to Brennan Van Kirk. Van Kirk, right-handed batter. In 15 games, batting .412, .563 on-base percentage. He has 14 hits, 13 singles, and 1 double. 48 plate appearances, 34 at-bats. Here's the pitch. Inside edge, strike called. Van Kirk swings a good bat. Van Kirk, as you know, got hit by a pitch in his first attempt at home plate. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of stretch. Childress, now the set position. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and take one to right field. Got some air under it. Going to be caught in right field. Luke Blankenship tagging from third base. Scoring the run is Mikey Stapleton. So it's a sacrifice fly off the bat of Brennan Van Kirk and an RBI. So Van Kirk is retired. There are 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Van Kirk picks up RBI number 12 on the season. Next batter to step in for the Knights, number 5, Colton Minnick. Colton Minnick, center fielder. Runners at first and second base. Peering in, looking at signals. Tanner Childress now out of the set position. Here comes a pickoff move at second base. It's a pretty good move. Back safely there. And that was close. Hovering right there. Shortstop took the throw. And nearly got him. So we'll step back in the rubber, peer in, look at signals. Tanner Childress. Out of the set, he'll check second base. First pitch to Minnick. It's a called strike, inside edge. Might have been a bit tall. No balls, 1 strike to Minnick. Straightaway stance, right-handed batter, sophomore athlete. Colton Minnick. Peering in, looking at signals. Tanner Childress out of the stretch. Long stretch, now the set position. Colton Minnick calls time. It's granted at home plate. That's a long time to stare at a pitcher when that pitcher is getting ready to bring one to you. Long time to stare, a lot of concentration time. I'd call timeout too. No balls, 1 strike. Out of the set. Childress, here's the pitch. Breaking pitch. Just missed above the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs. Very little wind. I'm not having to fight the wind up here. That's a tough gig, fighting the wind up on top of the press box. Out of the set position, Childress checks second base. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Hit by pitch. Tried to get out of the way. Got him a little bit there. Might have been on the left shoulder. Colton Minnick acts like it didn't even phase him. He's at first base now. So Colton Minnick gets hit by pitch first time this season. So bases are loaded. Next batter in the lineup going to be the 9-hitter, number 29. He's the catcher, Ethan Miller. Ethan Miller going to step in. Right-handed batter. Peering in, looking at signals out of the stretch is Dane Goris. So take that back. It's Tanner Childress. Out of the set, Childress looks at third. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch above the zone. Going to be above the catcher's glove. Going to go back to the screen. And the Knights are going to score a run from third base. So coming in to score. Knights score their 4th run here in the bottom of the second inning. So 1 ball, no strikes. Ethan Miller, the batter. Knights have runners at second and third base. At third base is DJ Gilkey. Here comes the pitch. Outside a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. 2 out. Bottom of the second inning. 2 aboard, second and third base. Hudson Gutwein is on deck. Out of the set. Childress, here comes the pitch. Outside a ball. Count goes 3-0. 3 balls, no strikes. First base is open. Gutwein began this second inning batting. First batter in this bottom of the second. Pitch comes in, strike called to Ethan Miller. So take pitch all the way for Miller. Count goes 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. Peering in, looking at signals. Tanner Childress out of the set. Here comes the 3-1. High above the zone. And he'll jog to first base. And the Knights have bases loaded again. So Coach Bourdonnais going to go with a courtesy runner. It's going to be number 20, Ali Bourdonnais. Ali Bourdonnais going to do the running. Ali Bourdonnais has a stolen base on the season. He also has 2 runs scored. He's stolen a base and not been thrown out. Stepping into bat, Mikey Stapleton. We'll take that back. It's number 9, Hudson Gutwein. Out of the set, Childress. Here comes the pitch to Gutwein. Swing and a miss. Might a little bit off speed there for Childress. Childress came in from left field. He's not a tall gentleman, but he gets the job done. So we'll step back in the rubber, peer in, look for signals. Out of set, here comes the 0-1 pitch to Gutwein. He'll take one out of play, right side. Count goes 0-2 to Hudson Gutwein. Gutwein on the season has 19 hits. Only one player is above him. That's Mikey Stapleton has 21. Stapleton has one in this game. Peering in, looking at signals. Tanner Childress. Alvacetto check third base. Here's the pitch. High above the head of Gutwein. Count goes 1-2. Hudson Gutwein, 19 hits, 9 singles, 8 doubles. He has no triples. He had a 2 home run game at Rensselaer Central. Out of set, Childress. Here comes the 1-2. He'll take a ground ball, second base. Glove, he'll throw across the diamond right there. Good block there, good scoop at first base. Saves an error, and they get the put out. And the Knights are out of the inning. Knights come up with 1 run. They score 4 runs. And the Knights are going to play defensively, we'll mention, at the end of 2 complete. Central Catholic 9, Attica 0. Attica going to bat here in the top of the 3rd inning. So Charlie Babs back out on the pitcher's rubber. And we'll mention this game is in part being brought to you by Honey Creek Resort. Honey Creek Resort, what a beautiful place to be. You can plan your vacation or maybe a weekend getaway. Honey Creek Resort, with 840 acres of fantastic nature, fun, and recreation adventures, are only a 1 day's drive away. That's Honey Creek Resort. Honey Creek Resort is in southern Iowa, where fellow Hoosiers Beth and Terry Henderson have an amazing lodge and cabins with fabulous fishing, boating, golfing, horse carriages, and much more. They have a truly amazing, adventurous hospitality awaits you at honeycreekresort.com. Make your group, business, or family getaway reservations today. You can reach them at honeycreekresort.com by dialing 641-724-1450. Again, 641-724-1450. So stepping into bat for Attica. Going to bat here in the top of the 3rd inning. It's going to be the 8-hitter, number 2, Kyler Stamper. Kyler Stamper, center fielder. My son's team, his travel team in the summertime, had a guy on that team named Kyler. Kyler, he played the catcher's position, and he hit a home run at Frankfort High School. That was a few years ago. But Kyler, pretty cool young man. My son's now 34. So working from the windup, Charlie Babs, left-handed batter, Kyler Stamper. So lefty facing a lefty. First pitch inside, ball 1. Kyler Stamper wears number 2, plays center field. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Strike called, outside half. Count goes 1-1. Kyler Stamper, he's batting .250. He's playing in game number 8 today, on base percentage of .438. He's going to hit one drive, one to right field. He's going to back up. The right fielder's going to be called by the center fielder, and Colton Minnick makes the catch. So that sun is glistening on the outfield. It's still kind of shaded here around home plate. The pitcher's rubber has got the sun hitting him. The right side of the infield, sun. Third base, where Gutwein's at, he's in the shade at the moment. Stepping in, Tanner Childress. First pitch, swing and a miss. Tanner Childress, number 34. Tanner Childress has 13 at-bats, 13 plate appearances. He's got 2 hits on the season. Here comes the pitch. Outside, ball one. Count goes 1-1. Tanner Childress has scored 5 runs on the season. He's been left on base 7 times. Pitch comes in outside, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. 1 strike to Childress. Childress has 2 stolen bases. Out of the windup, Charlie Babs here's the pitch. It'll be a ground ball. It'll be taken by the first baseman. He'll take it on his own. That's Gus Sandberg. Sandberg playing first base now for the Knights. Wears number 30. Gus is a member of the junior class. So there are 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd inning. Next batter to step in is going to be the one-hitter. Leadoff batter in today's ball game, number 8, Luke Blankenship, the right fielder. Pitch comes in, ball 1, tight, inside, tight, count goes 1-0. So Luke Blankenship, he's batting .375. Left-handed batter's box. Pitch comes in outside, ball 2. He's got a .468 on-base percentage. Here comes the wind in the pitch from Charlie Babst. High and tight, ball 3. 3-0 count to Blankenship. He's got 15 hits. They're all singles. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. Ride down Meridian, strike called. Take signal. Count goes 3-1. Here comes the pitch. 3-1, ground ball back to Babs. He'll field it. He'll run towards first base. Underhand toss to Lucas Gerke, and the Knights are out of the inning. So, Attica Red Ramblers send 3 to the plate, come up with no runs. And we'll mention at the end of 2.5, Knights 9, Red Ramblers 0. The Knights going to bat in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And we'll also mention today's ball game is being brought to you in part by Discount Copies. Discount Copies, they are conveniently located at the west edge of Noblesville, Indiana, 46062. Discount Copies. You can call them, you can Gmail them. They'll help you from wherever you're at. They'll make it good for you. Discount Copies, they're in Noblesville. They're just behind Pizza Hut and next to Bowl 32. That's right there along State Road 32 on the very west edge of Noblesville. At Discount Copies, they provide setup services where you can turn your artwork into things such as note cards, notepads, prints, and calendars. And it's never too early to think about personalized Christmas cards. Posters and oversized printing are also available. And if you're planning a wedding, they can print all of your necessary needs. You can reach Discount Copies by phone, 317-773-8783. Again, that's 317-773-8783. Or by Gmail, discountcopies96@gmail.com. So the Knights getting ready to bat in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And the catcher's going to come out. He put his gear on. That was double check here. And that's going to be Dane behind the dish again. Number 10, Dane Goris, back doing the catching. He batted in the 8th spot. That's a nice frozen rope to second base by Goris. So stepping in to bat for the Knights is going to be number 12, Alex Schumer. Alex Schumer going to step in. Bottom of the 3rd inning, left-handed batter on deck is number 30, Gus Sandberg. Working from the windup, Tanner Childress. Here comes the wind, first pitch to Schumer. Outside edge, strike called. So no balls, 1 strike. He's going to pitch from a stretch now. Tanner Childress, here's the pitch. Ground ball, Second base going to get through the hole there on the ground between second and first. A base hit off the bat of number 12, Alex Schumer. The next batter going to step in. It's going to be Gus Sandberg. Gus Sandberg now with 16 hits on the season. Peering in, looking at signals out of stretch. Tanner Childress. Right-handed batter, Gus Sandberg. Sandberg going to call time. I thought he might have called time before that. He steps out, he gets back in. He'll reset. Tanner Childress getting the signal. Look at first base out of stretch. Now the set position. First pitch to Gus is inside and hit by pitch. So Sandberg going to jog down to first base. He gets hit by a pitch for the second time this season. The Knights have two aboard, first and second base. At second base, Alex Schumer. At first base, Gus Sandberg. Stepping into bat, the four-hitter, number 11, Mikey Stapleton. Stapleton has one hit in the ball game. It was a single. Out of the set, Childress checks second base a couple of times. Here's the pitch. Outside the ball. They're going to snap throw to second base. Dane Goris trying to get Schumer before he got back with that secondary lead. So they go on the bases. They get the signals from Coach Bourdonnais while on the bases. That's exactly how my dad taught us. Out of set. Here comes the pitch from Childress. Breaking pitch. He's going to fight it off. He's going to send one right side playable. First baseman going to make a play. Makes the catch. And well done there by number 9, Abe Ramaklis. Abe Ramaklis playing good defense for the Red Ramblers. So one out. Mikey Stapleton flies out. Foul territory, right side, first baseman. So runners at first and second base. Stepping into bat, number 3. We'll double check that. Working out a stretch, now the set. Coach Bourdonnais got some subs in the ball game. It's going to be number 31. He'll hit the third base. Couldn't field it. And they're going to say safe at third base. He tried to pick up the baseball and stretch that leg to touch third base for the force out. But the baseball remained on the grass. He couldn't get it picked up in time. So the Knights have runners on each base. So one out. Bottom of the third inning. Peering in, looking at signals, out of stretch. Tanner Childress checks second base. Now third, here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Ollie Bourdonnais getting his first varsity at bat right now. Ollie Bourdonnais, right-handed batter. Working out the stretch. Tanner Childress. Long stretch, now the set position. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, swing and a miss. Count goes 0-2 to Bourdonnais. So Bourdonnais working right there. So peering in, looking at signals, out of stretch. Tanner Childress. Pickoff move, third base, back safely. No tag applied. Schumer is at third base doing the base running. Working right there out of the set position. Here's the pitch. Hit by pitch. You're going to see him might have went behind the back of Ollie Bourdonnais. Didn't get him. Count goes 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Peering in, looking at signals, out of the stretch. Now the set position. Here comes the pitch from Childress. Outside edge. They're going to set him down looking. And there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning. Next batter going to step in for the Knights. It's going to be number 14, Jonah Gerke. Jonah Gerke, he's a sophomore. Jonah Gerke going to step in. He's got 14 plate appearances. He has 10 at-bats. Left-handed batter. His brother is a senior. He plays first base. That's Lucas Gerke. Out of the set, here comes the pitch. Going to call that a strike. Inside edge. Difficult pitch to hit when it's off the plate. No balls, one strike. Peering in, looking at signals. Tanner Childress. 2 outs out of the set. Childress. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. A friend of mine texted me, says, I seen that from here. Was out, never missed a call. He's umpired. Never missed a call either. Out of the set, here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, ground ball. Base hit by the glove of the second baseman. 1 run comes in to score. That's Alex Schumer. And behind him is Gus Sandberg. So a 2 RBI single off the bat of Jonah Gerke. Jonah Gerke picks up his first hit on the season. It's a single. And he picks up RBI number 3 and number 4. So next batter to step in, it's going to be Colton Minnick. Colton Minnick, the center fielder. Right-handed batter. Facing Tanner Childress of the Attica Red Ramblers. Peering in, looking at signals. Long pier. Long pier. Colton's going to stay in the box. Colton's ready to go. Out of the set. Here comes the first pitch. Outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Runners at first and third base for the Knights. 2 outs. Bottom of the third. Knights have 2 runs in here in the third. Here comes a pitch. Breaking pitch. Didn't break enough. Another hit by pitch. And Colton Minnick gets hit about the same location. So Colton Minnick goes to first base. Bases are now loaded. Next batter we're going to see in the box is going to be number 28, Tatum Adriano. Adriano's coming off the bench. Pinch hitting role. He's a freshman class member. Does some pitching, plays third base. He's got a lot of upside in front of him. Working out a stretch. Now the set position. Tanner Childress checks second a second time. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. A little bit off speed there by Childress. A little bit out in front of it. Adriano. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of the stretch. No balls, 1 strike. Out of the set position, Childress. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Can be a ground ball. Shortstop. Trying to make the glove there. Couldn't make the glove. Run comes in to score. A second run will come in as it's just now picked up in left field. Shallow by the left fielder. Coming in to score is Jonah Gerke. And 31, I tell you what, I don't have a roster up here. I left it downstairs. And I'm sorry, number 31, I'll get your name next time. That's not like me, but I did it. Sorry about that. So 2 outs. Stepping in for the Knights, Hudson Gutwein. Hudson Gutwein, right-handed batter. 4th time at the plate today. Out of the set, Childress. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, ground ball, foul. Might be Gutwein's 3rd time at the plate today. First pitch, foul ball, 3rd baseline. Goes over to the bullpen area. Hudson Gutwein, batting .396. He's the one hitter for the Knights. He missed 1 game. He was under the weather. Stepping in. Now in the set position. Tanner Childress looks at second twice. Here's the pitch to Gutwein. Breaking pitch outside of ball. Going to get by the glove of Goris. Goes back to the wall. And the runners move up 90 feet. Knights are on second and third base. Tatum Adriano is at second base. Colton Minnick is at third base. Minnick is a sophomore. Adriano at second. He's a freshman. In the batter's box is senior Hudson Gutwine. Here's the pitch. Foul one, right side. Got the screen. Count goes 1-2 to Gutwine. Gutwine entered this game with 71 plate appearances, 48 at bats. He's still stuck on 19 hits, nine are singles, 8 doubles, no triples, and he had that 1-2 home run game at Rensselaer Central. Out of the set, here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch high for ball 2. Gutwine also has 19 RBI on the season. And Gutwine has a crazy number. He scored 33 runs this season. The closest to him is Lucas Gerke with 25. Pickoff move, third base. Colton Minnick back safely. Tag was applied by Carter Vredenberg. Ball's back in the hands of Tanner Childress. Out of set position, checks third. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Gutwine. Foul one, back to the screen. On deck is Alex Schumer. Hudson Gutwine has reached first on a base on balls 16 times. He has 12 stolen bases, which leads the Knights. Gutwine has been thrown out one time. Mikey Stapleton has 11 stolen bases, but he is yet to be thrown out. Here and in, looking at signals, out of the stretch. Now the set. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Foul ball, right side, out of play. So Hudson Gutwine, right-handed batter. Step back in. 2-2 count, 2 outs. Bottom of the third. Knights have 4 runs in here in the bottom of the third. Out of the set. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Outside, ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Hudson Gutwine, no signals given. Coach Bourdonnais. Peering in, looking at signals. Tanner Childress. Long pier. 3-2 count. Here comes the pitch. High and tight, ball 4. So Gutwine would jog to first base. He picks up walk number 17 on the season. Knights are loading the bases. Shortstop coming in to give some encouragement to Childress. And that's 27, Carson Lovell Ramey, playing the shortstop position right now. Stepping in the batter's box, number 12, Alex Schumer. On deck is Gus Sandberg. Peering in, looking at signals. Now out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. Foul ball, third base side from the left-handed bat of Alex Schumer. Alex Schumer, his brother Ryan Schumer, did a lot of catching for the Knights. He's at Calvin College, best I know right now. I think he's a sophomore. That's in Michigan. What a kind young man both of these Schumers are. Out of set, here comes the pitch. Outside a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Last night we were at Caston. Schumer was hit by pitch, and they were questioning it. A guy in the booth said, oh, maybe he's not. And I said, no. I said, he's a truthful guy. If he got hit by pitch, he knows it. He would never try to fake it. Out of set, Childress, here's the pitch. Backdoor curveball, misses outside. Count goes 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 outs. Bases loaded for the Knights. Peering in, looking at signals. Tanner Childress out of the set. Here comes the pitch. He's going to take a drive to right field. Right at the right fielder and caught for out number 3 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. So the Knights get 4 runs. They pick up a couple of hits, a couple of errors in the inning. And after 3 completes, Central Catholic 13, Attica 0. And we'll also mention this game is in parts being brought to you by Lisa Stokes Bear. Lisa Stokes Bear, Century 21. A real estate IQ that will work for the benefit of you. Lisa Stokes Bear, she specializes in residential and corporate relocations. A vast knowledge with more than 25 years of question answering experience. Let Lisa look or let Lisa list. Each home is precious. Lisa Stokes Bear, Century 21, Sheets Company. She's highly recommended. She's a great real estate agent and a real estate broker. To contact Lisa Stokes Bear by phone or by text message, go to 317-513-4086. Again, that's 317-513-4086. It's Lisa Stokes Bear. So they're playing some David Lee Roth here, some of his solo work. I tell you what, a lot of folks like Van Halen. They like David Lee Roth, but I'm a Van Hagar fan. My wife likes David Lee Roth. She says it's for whatever reason. But David Lee Roth, they needed a voice machine for him. They probably would for me. But anyway, Sammy Hagar, he can still rock and roll. He can still play the guitar. Stepping into bat for Attica, number 10, Dane Goris. First pitch from Babst. Swung on, fouled back, out of play. No balls, one strike. Scratch right there on the dirt. Put a cross right there. It's an empty cross. He has risen. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Backdoor curveball. Just misses outside. Pretty good release there. Good point of release from Babs. Just missed outside. One ball, one strike. Here comes the pitch. Outside a fastball. Ball two. Two balls, one strike. Dane Goris is the two-hitter. He's playing the catcher's position again. He pitched in this game. He's back to the catcher's position. Pitch comes in high above the zone. Ball three. Three balls, one strike. Sun's going down, getting a little bit chillier. Not bad, though. Here comes the pitch. Foul ball back to the screen. He got a good cut right through the zone right now. Three balls, two strikes. Right-handed batter, Dane Goris. Dane Goris, he's a member of the senior class. Here comes the pitch. Going to pop one. First base side going to be called by the second baseman. It's caught by Schumer up on at the edge of the dirt towards the infield. There's one out here in the top of the fourth. Next batter to step in, it's going to be the three-hitter, number 27, Carson Lovell Ramey. He's now playing the shortstop position for Attica. Working from the windup, Charlie Babst. Here's the pitch. Pitch comes in, outside edge, knee high, called strike. Count goes 0-1. Open stance for Lovell Ramey. He'll take a ground ball, third base side. Glove there by Gutwein. He'll throw across the diamond, and a good play at first base by Gus Sandberg. He had to stretch out for it, catch the ball. Foot came off the bag, and he put it back on prior to Lovell Ramey reaching first. So Gus Sandberg erases a throwing error from Gutwein. There are two outs. Stepping in, number 24, Jace Larson. Here comes the pitch from Babs. We call that a strike, outside edge. Wow. 40-inch bat, hard to reach that one with. No balls, one strike. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Count goes 0-2. No balls, two strikes. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Breaking pitch, ground ball, third base side. Fielded there at third base by Gutwein. He'll throw a good strike across the diamond, and they'll get the put out. with Gus Sandberg. So the Knights will set down. Red Ramblers will play defense. The Knights going to bat in the bottom of the fourth inning. At the end of 3.5, Knights 13, Red Ramblers 0. And we'll also mention today's ball game is in parts being brought to you by Camino and Company. Camino and Company is in downtown Noblesville, Indiana. It's on the north side of the square. If you know where Alexander's Ice Cream Parlor is, they are right beside them. Camino and Company is a mobile flower shop brought to you by local flower farmers and providers, small business partners, and the Camino and Company founders. Their mascot is a 1984 El Camino SS. And that SS is owned by V.E. Witham, and he loans it out to his granddaughter, Carly Witham Elbrett. She's the owner of Camino and Company. And I'm going to take a chance here. I'm going to give you her cell phone number. If you don't look up on the web, camino-and-company.com, and you want to call Carly on her cell phone number, it is 317-833-7192. So if you call her, leave her a message, and she'll be happy to help you with your flowers. And I will also mention the goal at Camino and Company is to please each customer from their concept to the Camino and Company completion. You can explore their website at camino-and-company.com or 317-833-7192. My wife texted in, David Lee Roth is just a better front man. I guess to some people, but I think Kevin Cronin is the absolute best. We'll see him on August the 15th this year at Ruoff in Noblesville, a week before the first football game on the 22nd. Working from the windup. New pitchers. Knights stepping in. Long step there. I'm working from the windup. Here comes the pitch. Outside and low in the batter's box is Gus Sandberg for the Knights. Where's number 30? Now doing the pitching for Attica is number 9, Abe Ramaklis. He started the game at first base. He started out as a defensive player, playing defense for the designated hitter. That was Braden Terry. So foul ball back to the screen. Abe Ramaklis, he's a junior class member. Abe Ramaklis is getting his first stint of pitching this season in this appearance. Here comes the pitch. Going to take a drive to left center. It's going to get by the left fielder. It's going to go across the warning track up against the fence. And Gus Sandberg found the sweet spot on that bat. So Gus Sandberg has a double on the season. He now has 4 hits on the season. He has 3 singles and a double. Gus Sandberg entered this game with 16 plate appearances, 13 at-bats. He's coming off an injury. He's a pitcher. We need his arm. He's hitting the ball well. Knight stepping in, working from the stretch. Abe Ramaklis out of the set. He'll check second base. Here comes the pitch. Swung on. He'll pop it up to the left center. Coming in a long way, making the catch in center field. Nice catch. Had to run in a long, long way. That is number 2, Kyler Stamper, the center fielder. So the Knights have 1 out. Next batter for the Knights is going to step in. Where's number 31? And right-handed batter. As we listen to the outfield. Peering in, looking at signals out the stretch. Now the set position. Check second a couple times. Here's the pitch. Low, short hops the glove of Dane Goris. Ball one. So runners at second base. It is Gus Sandberg. Got there legitimately with a double. There's one out. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. High above the zone, ball two. 2 balls, no strikes. Bottom of the fourth inning. On deck is Ali Bourdonnais. Peering in, looking at signals, out of stretch. Now the set for Ramaklis. Here comes the pitch. Above the zone, ball three. 3 balls, no strikes. Peering in out of the stretch, looking at signals from Dane Goris, the catcher. Peering in, now out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. High above the zone, a 4-pitch walk issued. And now bases. 2 aboard for the Knights first and second base. Ali Bourdonnais going to step in second time in today's ball game. On deck is Jonah Gerke. Jonah Gerke last time up, a 2 RBI single. Out of set. Here comes the pitch. Outside, going to get by the glove of Dane Goris. He'll track it down, and the base runners move up 90 feet. So Gus Sandberg is at third base. Knights have runners at second and third. Ali Bourdonnais, a little bit of a close stance on the instep. Right-handed batter. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Just above the zone, ball two. 2 balls, no strikes. Working out a stretch. Now the set, a quick pitch there inside a ball. Pretty close to no set on that one. Umpire might have gave him a mulligan and told him about it when he got the ball back. 3 balls, no strikes. Here comes the pitch. Right across the dish. Outside half, strike called. 3 balls, 1 strike. Peering in, looking at signals. Number 9, Abe Ramaklis. Pitch comes in high for ball 4. So Ali Bourdonnais jogs to first base, picks up his first base on balls this season. And the next batter to step in is going to be number 14, Jonah Gerke. Bases are loaded. No signals given at third base by Coach Bourdonnais. They're going to call time. Got a shoe tie out in center field. Kyler Stamper. Pretty darn good center fielder. So everybody's ready. Ball's made live here in a moment. 1 out. Out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Going to call that a strike outside edge. Jonah Gerke, a 0-1 count. Bases loaded. Bottom of the fourth inning. 1 out. Working from the stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. Going to be a base hit straight up the middle. It's going to get Jonah to first. Going to score 1. Second run going to come in to score. And Jonah Gerke has a 2-hit day with 4 RBI. So they're going to go with the runner at first base. It's going to be Keegan McCarter. Where's number 27? So Jonah Gerke picks up 2 more RBI. He has 6 on the season. And he now has 2 hits in the ball game, and he has 2 hits this season. So getting some confidence built right there. Runners at first and second base. Knights batting here in the bottom of the fourth. 1 out. Here comes the pitch. High and tight. ball one. Number 24, I believe that's Ben Weeks. Ben Weeks, sophomore athlete. I don't have my roster here, doggone it. I apologize to number 31. Ball gets by the catcher, goes back to the screen. Knights have runners at second and third base now. Jogging back to the pitcher's rubber is number 9, Abe Ramaklis. Abe Ramaklis getting some pitching in. First time he's pitched this season. I looked there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pitchers I have on the roster here for Attica. And that pitch comes in, swing and a miss. Count goes 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Ramaklis is not one of them. He is one now. Pitch comes in, they're going to pop it up. Might be playable behind home plate. The catcher, Goris, makes the catch. Nice catch. He'll go to third base with a snap throw. And they're going to call him out. They're going to call him out at third base. Coach Gordon, they didn't have anything to say. But it was in a different day, he probably would have, because he probably should have. But they're going to get out of the inning. The Knights are going to get their gloves. They'll go the infield, outfield. And the Knights pick up 2 in the bottom of the fourth through 4 innings. We'll mention the Knights, 15, Attica, 0. Then Attica going to bat here in the top of the 5th. And we'll also mention today's ball game is in parts being brought to you by Reynolds Farm Equipment. I think I just found my roster is tucked in here. But 31, I apologize, Eli Thompson. I've said your name before. You are an athlete and a half. 31, Eli Thompson. He's 6'1", 198. Just a freshman. He's a pitcher and an outfielder. And I owe you an apology, Mr. Eli Thompson. I apologize. And again, we'll mention Reynolds Farm Equipment, family owned and operated since 1955. Tractors, combines, corn pickers, lawnmowers, etc. Genuine John Deere equipment. New and used equipment available. Extraordinarily the best in the business. Reynolds. Visit them at their Atlanta, Indiana location. The location is located right off of 31, US 31 at 1451 East Jefferson Street, Atlanta, Indiana. They're just 2 miles south of 296th Street. 296th Street, that's the Tipton-Hamilton County line. There are 5 locations for Reynolds Farm Equipment. You can reach either location by dialing 800-333-6947. Again, that number is 800-333-6947. That's Reynolds Farm Equipment. So they put the ball back in the glove. Right there. Pitcher, Charlie Baps. Stepping into bat, number 3, Tristan Miller, the junior class member. First pitch from Baps. Swung on. Going to be a double hit in the box there. Got the bat, got him on the leg. Home plate umpire saw that one. And it's going to be a foul ball. So that chalk, that paint, I should say, around the batting boxes, the batter's box, I tell you what, they're both gone. Probably about third inning, second, third inning, they're worn out. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Charlie Baps still looking pretty strong. Charlie Baps, we'll mention Charlie Baps on the varsity roster, 5'11", 155, a freshman. Swing and a miss. Going to be a drop third. Working through the inside, making the throw. That's Renback. That is Cooper Renback. Drop third strike, steps the inside and throws a strike to Gus Sandberg for the first out here in the top of the 5th. So the next batter to step in for Attica, going to be number 22. He's the 6th hitter, Braden Terry. Braden Terry started this game as the DH. First pitch comes in, short off the glove of Renback, ball 1. So Step back in. Here's the pitch. Swung on, foul ball. Going to float out of play. So 1 ball, 1 strike. He'll step back in. Right-handed batter's box. Braden Terry. Braden Terry batting 333 at 375 on base percentage. He'll swing and miss. Count goes 1-2. Braden Terry has played in 10 games. This is number 11. He's got 5 hits, 4 singles, and 1 double. He's got 1 RBI. Here's the pitch. Backdoor curveball. Works its way back in. Outside edge, strike called. And there are 2 out here in the top of the 5th. So next batter going to step in. Number 5, Carter Vredenberg, right-handed batter. First pitch from Baps. High and well above the zone, ball 1. Take that back. In the batter's box now is number 13, Colin Driver. Colin Driver, he's a freshman. I'm guessing Brian Driver may be his father. He's going to foul one back out of play. Brian Driver, the head coach of the Attica Red Ramblers. 1 ball, 1 strike, right-handed batter, number 13, Colin Driver. He's a freshman. He's batting 208. He's got a 406 on base percentage. He got a 2-1 count now as the ball gets by. Renback, Colin Driver. Got 5 hits on the season. They're all singles. 32 plate appearances, 24 at-bats, 3 RBI. He has scored 4 runs. He has walked 7 times. He draws a ball there. It's a 3-1 count to Driver. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Swung on, swing and a miss. Count goes full. Colin Driver, he has been left on base 17 times. He has 3 stolen bases. Here comes the 3-2. Ground ball, shortstop. He fielded there. They'll throw to first base, and they'll get the put out with Gus Sandberg. And that's going to complete today's ball game. We do thank you for tuning in. We'll hope that you'll tune in Friday. Knights are going to start their Catholic Classic Friday, and they'll play at 5:30. South Bend St. Joseph will be here. 5:30 start. We hope you'll listen in if you can't make the game live. And we do thank you for tuning in. Please stay put. We are definitely going to talk to Coach Bourdonnais, and we're going to try to talk to him quickly before he talks to the team. So we'll set this down for a moment. No, this thing. Right. Hey, we're post game right now. I'm going to talk to Coach Bourdonnais. Coach Bourdonnais, and when I got here, I didn't realize that 700 was even a number, and that's how many games that you've coached as a win. That's incredible, Coach.
Yeah, really been blessed. Had a lot of great assistants over the years, and a lot of great players that have bought into the program and have done what we needed to do to be successful. So, just really proud of what we've accomplished here. Not me. It's what we've done here as a program, and just really proud about it.
You really like baseball, and a lot of people know that, and I do too. And I'm glad I'm here. But anyway, I remember back when I got the 500 T-shirt, and I thought 500, what's this mean? And that's how many you had. What, 3 or 4 years ago?
It's been maybe 8 or 9 years ago, but yeah, like I said, we've just had a lot of good players and good assistant coaches that, to live up to the tradition that's been set here. Teams that have been here before and had success, and our guys, they're expected to uphold that tradition, and they take pride in that.
Amen. Hey, you had some guys got in the game today. Jonah Gerke got 2 hits, 4 RBI. You got some other guys got in the game.
Yeah, it's great. Great. We've had a long week so far. This is a tough week for us. 6 games this week. Had a late night last night, and it was great to get some young guys in the ball game, and some of them the first varsity experience. So, yeah, real happy for those guys, and hopefully we can stay on a little bit of roll here. And we got some three good teams coming in this weekend. Should be a lot of fun.
You got South Bend St. Joe. You got the Bishop Lures. You got Guerin Catholic. They're all having good seasons.
Yeah, we're going to have to bring our A game. There's no doubt if we're going to win any of those games, to be quite honest. So, we could win all 3. We could lose all 3. So, and that's why we schedule those teams, especially here later in the season, getting ready for the tournament, because, against those caliber of teams, if you make mistakes, don't come ready to play, you're not going to come out on top. So, yeah, we're looking forward to this weekend. The weather's going to be great, and hopefully be some great baseball all weekend long.